my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to give you guys an update on the goals that I talked to you guys about in a previous video. I talked to you guys about having a goal every single month and forming a habit with that goal so that you consistently stick with it. Like a lot of people will come up with way too many goals at the first of the year, the 1st of January, and then they'll fall off really soon because of the fact that they aren't consistently doing it. So if you build a habit, you will if you do one thing at a time and you build a habit with it, then you will be more likely to stick with it. So my goal for the year, for 2020, was to build a new habit every single month. So I want to do it really slowly. So I started January, February, each month I have a new habit that I'm forming, and that way I won't fall off because it really takes 21 days to form a habit. So if you spend the whole month, though typically around 30 days, doing this one thing, then you formed a habit, so you're more likely to carry it out for the rest of your life. So I started really small in January, and my habit that I wanted to form starting in January was to do yoga every single day. I mentioned in my previous habit video that I was gonna do yoga every day, even if it's only for 5-10 minutes, I still was going to do yoga every single day. So I continued this habit, but I did actually modify it a little bit. So it's okay to modify your goals and to change them up a little bit. And so I didn't stop my habit, but I kind of modified it a little bit. So about maybe midway through January, I started going to the gym again, which I haven't done in a while. And I kind of realized that going to the gym and yoga are very similar because I usually stretch at the gym before or after. So I decided that the days I don't go to the gym, I will still definitely do yoga in the morning. And at first I was like, I should still do yoga before I go to the gym, even if it's a 5-minute one. But then I kind of realized it's a lot to do in one day. If I'm gonna go to the gym, that's already a lot for me. So instead I just pick one or the other. So I kind of modified my goal a little bit to be either gym or yoga. So I either do yoga every day or I go to the gym every day. So each day I choose which one. So typically Monday through Friday I'm at the gym, and then the weekend I'm doing yoga. But sometimes on a weekday, like today for instance, I didn't go to the gym because I had a dentist appointment at the time I usually go. So instead I did yoga, and I'm doing that actually in the morning. I did it before I went. So it's just nice to be able to choose one or the other and not have to do both. So that was my original January goal. I did modify it about halfway through January, which is totally fine. I didn't stop my goal, I just kind of modified it a little bit, and I'm still doing that continuously because that was my January goal and it's going to continue for the year. So it was just a small little goal to start in January, and now it's continuing because I built a habit around doing it every day. So my February goal, I want to give you a little update on what my February goal is. So my February goal was to read for 10 minutes every night before I go to bed. So it might sound like a small goal, but I had to start small because I fall asleep every single time I read a book. I'm not even kidding. So I had to start small, like 10 minutes. So I kind of have to make sure when I get into bed, I'm not already like falling asleep. So I try to get into bed if possible a little bit earlier so that I'll be able to read for 10 minutes. But if I try to read in the morning, I'm immediately like back to sleep and then I forget to wake up. So definitely have to do my reading at night, which is why I made this a goal, because I end up putting it off because I'm like, oh, I'm busy at night, so I'm just gonna skip it. And then I end up not reading, and I know reading's huge for personal development and growth, and I wanna make sure that I'm constantly reading and continuing my personal development. So my goal for February was to read for 10 minutes every night before I go to bed. So that's what I've been doing, and I'm starting to form a habit. I've missed a couple nights here and there, but my goal is to keep it going until the rest of February. February is a shorter month, and finish off strong and keep reading every single night before bed. So 10 minutes for me, it depends on the night, but also the book too. If it's a more intense book, I might only read a couple pages in 10 minutes. If it's a faster book, I might read a whole chapter or 2 in 10 minutes. So it really depends on what I'm reading and how I'm doing that at night. But I also will go above and beyond that 10 minutes. So the 10 minutes is my minimum. So I'm always like, no matter what, I'm reading for 10 minutes. There are plenty of nights that I read for a half hour, even an hour some nights if I'm able to stay awake. But reading at night really helps me to actually focus on it. And if I try to read during the day or in the morning, I always fall asleep for some reason. I'm like a huge night owl. So that was my February goal, and I'm continuing that. So like I said before, just small little goals, one a month, and that's it. So by the end of 2020, I will have formed 12 new habits, which is amazing. So I definitely want to move slow and make them smaller goals so that it's not something huge that I will fall off of. So far, February's not over yet, but I have my January goals down, and I'm continuing those, and I have my February goal of reading 10 minutes a night. So that's awesome. So my March goal, I'm just gonna get into that a little bit, and I probably won't do a video on this in March. So my March goal is going to be to make a to-do list every single night before I go to bed. So typically I try in the morning, I'm like, oh, what do I need to do today? And I try to like get everything together. And what that causes sometimes is when I'm laying in bed at night, I'm like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this. A lot of thoughts keep coming in my mind of things that I need to do the next day. So instead of having that issue and not being able to fall asleep because I'm like, oh, I should do this tomorrow, I should need to do this tomorrow. And it kind of makes my brain spin and I'm not able to fall asleep. So my goal for March coming up is going to be the night before I get into bed, I'm going to write down a to-do list of every single thing I need to do before in the next day. So I have a cute little daily task thing. I honestly have no idea where I got it. I forgot. But I've had it for a long time, and it looks like this. And basically what it is I write the date, I circle the day of the week, and then I write a list of everything I need to do. And then that day I have it on paper, and I can check it off. So there's also a really cool technique that I was thinking about trying, but I think I might like the paper version better. But I heard about this, which is really cool too, so some of you guys might like to try it. But if you make your to-do list on your notepad on your phone, which I know a lot of people do, or in their phone, in their to-do list, because a lot of people are on their phone more. If you make it in your notepad, take a screenshot of it and set it as your background and as your lock screen. So then that whole day you're looking at it and you're like, oh, I didn't do that yet, I need to do that. And it reminds you of everything you need to get done all throughout the day because you have your phone on you all day. So you're able to keep looking at your phone screen and realizing, I need to do that, I need to do that. So I think that's a really good idea. I might do that as well, but I think the paper version is going to work really well for me because I'm going to be able to like check off, and I really like the satisfaction of checking off as I finish something. But the phone background could help too, just to remind me that it's there. So in case, you know, I don't have the paper with me and I'm out and about somewhere, I can be like, oh, I didn't do that yet, I need to do that. So that's my March goal. My March goal is to make a to-do list every night before I go to bed. So this will be before I read in case I fall asleep. Before my reading, I'll do a quick to-do list, probably take me 5 minutes tops, of everything I need to do the next day. And this hopefully is gonna help me to sleep better too, because once I get into bed, I'm not gonna be like, I have to do this and this, because I already had written it all down, and I just have to say to myself, it's all written down. Tomorrow I can look at the to-do list and I don't have to worry about it now. So it's gonna help with that. It's gonna help, I'm sure, with my sleep. It's gonna help with me to accomplish my stuff because it's written on paper. And I tend to forget things a lot too, like little things, like don't forget I need to wash the towels tomorrow because we're almost out of clean towels. And I would forget something like that. But if it's written down, wash towels, I'll remember, oh, I need to throw in a load of towels tomorrow and check it off. Even something as small as empty the dishwasher. Like sometimes I'll forget that the dishes are in there. And it just, little reminder, empty dishwasher, just small things like that. Or even big things, different things you need to do the next day. I hope that the to-do list helps you guys, because that was a really cool idea to screenshot it and put it as your phone background. I like that idea a lot. And I hope that the idea of forming small habits helps you guys as well, because if I were to say, I'm gonna make a to-do list every night, I'm gonna read for 10 minutes, and I'm gonna go to the gym every day, then I would probably fall off super quick, because I would try to do all three of those things at one time and my brain would go crazy. And then I would be like, oh, I'm too tired, I'm not gonna do it. But since I'm doing it in 30-day increments, it's a lot easier to be able to form a habit with those different things. So my January had just carried over to my February, and now my February will carry over to my March, and the to-do list will be added on. So I'm really excited to see what the end of 2020 looks like and how many goals and habits I will have formed. It's just really exciting to be able to do this. So if anyone wants to join me in doing this, you can also have an accountability partner and have a monthly goal with me. That would be awesome. They can be anything. They can be huge things or small things, depending on you and what you think you can accomplish. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I will keep you updated on my goals, and I'll let you know how the to-do list works too. So if you have trouble getting to bed because you're racking your brain of what to do the next day, definitely try making a to-do list the night before, because that'll help you a lot to not be up all night constantly thinking and worrying about what you have to do tomorrow. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you guys next Tuesday on my channel.